All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are going to unpack what is absolutely, without a doubt, the single biggest shakeup to mobile technology we've seen in the last 5 years. We are witnessing a massive fundamental shift here. The devices in our pockets, they are officially transitioning from passive operating systems, the kind where you have to manually dictate every single action, to proactive intelligence systems. By integrating Android 17 with this new Gemini Intelligence, Google is completely changing the relationship we have with our hardware. This isn't just about throwing in a faster chip or a slightly better camera. No, it's about handing over the steering wheel to an active, incredibly smart digital agent.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the intelligence system paradigm. Then we'll check out Gemini Nano and AICore. After that, Rambler and semantic input, followed by agentic automation in action. Then we'll cover Android 17 visual design, and we'll wrap it all up with the wider Google ecosystem.
So, to kick things off, let's talk about Section 1, the intelligence system paradigm.
Google is really leaning into this phrase right now. Intelligence is the new spec. And the contrast between where we've been and where we're going is just stark. Think about a traditional operating system. It's basically a grid of isolated, siloed apps, right? It's totally menu-driven and completely passive. If you want to get something done, you have to do all the legwork. Open an app, copy some text, close the app, open a new one, paste it, you get the idea. But an intelligent system, it's a whole different ballgame. It's proactive, it's context-aware, it runs across your entire device, understanding exactly what's on your screen at any given moment, and it actually uses agentic automation to complete multi-step tasks across different apps on your behalf.
Moving right along to Section 2, Gemini Nano and AICore.
Now, he might be wondering, how does a phone actually pull this off without instantly draining the battery or, sending all your highly personal data to some remote server? Well, the magic here is that this intelligence runs entirely locally on your device. To make this work, Google uses something called 4-bit quantization to shrink these massive, complex language models down to just about 1 gigabyte. And there are 2 flavors here. We've got Gemini Nano 1, packing 1.8 billion parameters, which is targeted for standard memory devices, kind of like the Pixel 8. Then, stepping it up, we have Gemini Nano 2. That one boasts 3.25 billion parameters. And because Nano 2 needs a lot more heavy lifting from the neural processing unit and way more RAM, it's reserved exclusively for top-tier flagships. Think the Pixel 9 Pro or the absolute latest Samsung Galaxy devices.
And that naturally brings us to the elephant in the room, privacy. If your phone is actively reading your screen to be helpful, you want to be absolutely sure it's locked down tight. Enter AICore. This is the system-level module that handles all the routing, sending requests straight to your device's hardware chips. By using private compute core principles, restricted package binding, and ARM trust zone hardware security, Google's making sure that the sensitive data processed by the AI literally never leaves your phone, ever. Even the model weights themselves are fully encrypted when resting. It's essentially a localized, hyper-secure brain for your phone, so you aren't trading your personal privacy for this kind of cutting-edge convenience. Okay, Section 3. Rambler and semantic input. Let's look at how we actually interact with this tech.
If you have ever used voice dictation, you know it captures every single and awkward pause. Well, Google is introducing a massive overhaul to Gboard called Rambler. But Rambler isn't just literal dictation. It performs what they call semantic extraction. It actually listens to you, filters out all those natural speech artifacts, your self-corrections, and your inner monologue, and it only outputs your polished intent. It profoundly understands the difference between just typing what you say out loud and actually typing what you mean to say.
Let's put this into a real-world scenario because it's kind of hilarious. Imagine you're dictating a quick message to your spouse about dinner. You say something like, "This chicken is a bit dry. Actually, scratch that. No, wait, I love it. I've never had canned beans like this." Rambler is smart enough that it won't type out that initial insult. It realizes you are just self-correcting on the fly. And it gets crazier. You can just keep talking and ask it to format your next thoughts as a numbered list, swap out the numbers for emojis, and seamlessly translate the whole shebang into Hindi so your spouse can't even read it. It's wild. It completely understands the messy, nuanced way that human beings actually speak.
Moving on to Section 4, Agentic Automation in Action.
Rambler is amazing for text, for sure. But the true strategic differentiator of this entire update, the real game changer, is what happens when the AI starts actively pressing buttons for you. This is Agentic AI. We are officially shifting from Gemini just being a conversational chatbot that gives you a block of text to an active digital agent. It can execute multi-step actions autonomously across totally different applications. It literally taps and types in the background for you. Let's ground this with a super relatable example. Say you've got a massive grocery list sitting in your Notes app. Step 1, you just long press the power button to bring up Gemini. Step 2, Gemini reads your screen, figures out the context of the list, and autonomously opens up DoorDash or Instacart right in the background to hunt down all those items. Step 3, it presents you with a fully populated shopping cart. Boom! All you have to do is hit confirm and check out. You literally just handed off all your administrative friction to your phone.
But hey, with great power comes a very healthy dose of skepticism, right? Google showed off this demo where you take a photo of a concert poster and Gemini immediately presents a single button that says buy 2 floor seats. Well, reviewers were very quick to push back on this. The consensus was a resounding, absolutely not, I would also not trust this button. And honestly, fair enough. The idea of an AI spending hundreds of your hard-earned dollars on a one-click purchase without you verifying the date, the venue, or the hidden fees, that makes people super nervous. It really highlights that while Agentic AI is incredibly powerful, having transparent, human-in-the-loop verification is going to be absolutely crucial.
All right, let's jump to Section 5, Android 17 Visual Design.
So beyond the functional tasks, how does a phone visually tell you that it's thinking? Android 17 rolls out the new Material 3 Expressive design language. It introduces this gorgeous liquid glass translucent blur across the entire system UI. We are also finally getting split panels for larger screens and a hugely requested feature, native app lock right from your home screen. But my absolute favorite thing here is actually a non-AI feature. It's called Pause Point. If you have a terrible habit of mindless doom scrolling, opening a distracting app will now trigger a mandatory 10-second digital well-being breather. It literally forces you to pause and think before you scroll. And here's the genius part. To prevent you from easily turning it off in a moment of weakness, you actually have to restart your entire phone to disable it. Just brilliant.
Building on all that personalized UI is a feature called Create My Widget. Guys, this is our first real step into generative user interfaces. Instead of digging through an app to find some boring static widget, you just ask your phone for exactly what you want using plain natural language. You can say, hey, generate a custom dashboard with a marathon countdown, or build me a weekly high-protein meal prep planner. And it just dynamically builds the exact tool you need exactly when you need it.
Let's move on to our final section, Section 6, the wider Google ecosystem.
So let's zoom out for a second. Gemini Intelligence isn't just trapped inside your smartphone anymore, it's expanding across the whole hardware ecosystem. First up, we've got a brand new category of laptops called Googlebooks. These are not your everyday Chromebooks. They are built from the ground up for AI, and you can easily spot them by this really sleek, multicolored RGB light strip on the back. The coolest feature here? The magic pointer. If you physically wiggle your cursor, it instantly activates an AI mode. Your cursor becomes this multimodal portal. You can highlight text to instantly generate a reply, or even drag a couple of images together, and the integrated Nano Banana AI will seamlessly fuse them together right before your eyes.
And finally, the car. Android Auto is getting what is arguably its biggest update ever. We are talking about highly intuitive, immersive 3D map navigation. It actually shows building silhouettes and overpasses so you can figure out those really complex lane changes. Plus, you can now tap into Gemini's agentic voice integration to do things like order food while keeping your eyes safely on the road. Oh, and as a fun bonus, if you're parked and charging up your EV, you can now watch YouTube in glorious 1080p with Dolby Atmos audio. But safety first. The exact second you shift the car into drive, the video minimizes and safely transitions into a background audio podcast so you aren't distracted.
Wow. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground today in this explainer. From microscopic 4-bit AI models to completely new laptops and intelligent cars. The shift from a passive OS to an active intelligence system is officially here. So the main thing you should take away from all this is that your devices are about to start doing the heavy lifting for you, which really leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question. As these tools become incredibly capable, are you ready to trust and hand over your daily administrative friction to a proactive digital agent? Think about it. Thanks for joining me today and keep learning.